Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Day 450. Tonight we have a special update for you. Unbelievable that we are at day 450. Tonight we are fully live, 9:02 p.m. Eastern Standard, 6:02 California, 4:02 a.m. in Ukraine. Massive air raid in Kyiv just went green, meaning the air is now clear at 3:01 a.m. local. So basically 1 hour ago, we got the all green that the skies are clear over Kyiv. There were 100% success in shooting down on the Shahed drones on that raid. However, there is a pretty large strike on an apartment building due to the deflection. So there's a massive fire going on in a residential district right now in Kyiv. So that's what's happening right this very moment. Want to thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing, liking, commenting, joining the Patreon, doing all of those things. It helps us get the message out. Now, I will tell you today, I did talk to Zhenya. We had quite an extended conversation. He is still in recovery, very, very slow recovery from that surgery. And he'll be back with us very soon. But today, oh my goodness, I have the Wagner map of their perception on the war. I'm going to be sharing that with you tonight. Zhenya and I were connected tonight, a few hours ago, actually, to the Wagner information. I'm getting all the Wagner feed now, all of it, everything they're doing, all their video, their appeal to the Russian people to raise funds, their views on the battle, their tactical maps. So going to be interesting. And of course, from here going forward, we will be sharing a lot of that because it's so interesting to see that perception. So welcome to all of you. I see you there, Chuck, out there in San Jose, Rick Berry, Slaving, as usual, Paul Kiss, Ricochet, welcome to you, my friend. I think about people like Chuck Pinkham, Rick Berry, Paul Kiss, Ricochet, Pat Shove, Amy Radabush, JDO. You guys have been here since the beginning and have helped this grow and have helped us share the message. So for that, we say thank you. So let's jump right in tonight. We're going to start here tonight, G7, G8, G20. And we're going to, no, Wagner does not practice OPSEC. What does OPSEC stand for? Ricochet, we're fully live tonight, buddy. Translate that for me, and then I'll tell you what I'm seeing. Going to be showing you what I'm seeing, actually. What's up, Skag? Welcome to you. You guys, if you have questions or comments, feel free to drop them in tonight. We're on no time frame. Operational security. Okay, no, they have zero operational security. And actually, what we're finding out is Ukraine struggling in that area as well. It's tough. Maybe guys, you know, especially those of you that have all this military experience, which we have a lot of veterans in here that watch either live or later the day after. I think it's a different world now with security due to social media and the internet, and people just do what they want to do. The cell phone is a major problem, not only, I'm sure, for Wagner and RF Russian forces, but it's also a major problem for Ukraine, as we have covered. So today, and beginning and continuing over the weekend, G7 meetings. Tonight, I want to talk about that for a moment because I can confirm to you it was changed about 12 hours ago, maybe 16 hours ago. Zelensky was not going to go to the G7. He had been granted an invitation to join on a video link. Now, I remind you, G7 nations are Germany, UK, France, Canada, US, Italy, and Japan. It used to be the G8 prior to 2014 when Russia invaded and took Crimea. So this is the little G8, Russia sitting on the outside. And then when you move it to the G20, you add Brazil, South Korea, Mexico, Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, China, Australia, India, South Africa, Australia. It is Turkey, European Union, So the G7, G8, G20, most people do not know even what they do. Tonight, I've put together a little, uh, in plain English, plain communication, what they do, where they came from. But the important thing is Zelensky now, it's changed. Confirmed by Zelensky, confirmed also by his foreign minister. Zelensky will be heading and probably already en route to Japan, where he already has a scheduled meeting to meet with Joe Biden and other leaders of the G7. So we shall see what comes from that, but that is happening. Now, today, Zelensky left and headed to Saudi Arabia. He was there at the Arab League. He was invited to come and speak. He met many Arab leaders, and today he spoke to the Arab League in English and very direct. I have a copy of that, a little bit of it, that's very interesting. I'm going to show you that tonight as well. But the G7, G8, G20, what is it? Group of seven, mainly to deal with politics. This came about after the first oil shock in 1970. Economies were suffering. These nations came together. We've already discussed the members. In 98, Russia joined the G7, making it the G8, but in 2014, they were kicked out. Back to the G7. G20 is about finance, economic cooperation. It's the 19 countries and the European Union with representatives from the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. Today, the G7, after their meetings, put out an update saying, we are standing for these four things. Peace in Ukraine can only be achieved with the complete withdrawal of Russian troops. That means Crimea as well. Reaffirmed their commitment to stand together, continue to provide assistance to Ukraine, and confirmed that Russia must pay for Ukraine's long-term recovery. So that's what came out of the G7. Zelensky on his way there. We'll see what unfolds from that. We'll be watching it. But he stopped in Saudi Arabia today. This is him. This is when he was landing there. No audio on this. This was just some video footage. This is President Zelensky landing this morning in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. They're, of course, in all of their formal attire, greeting him, and he is in his fatigues. He is not a dictator. He's a good guy. Why does President Zelensky only wear the fatigues, the camo or the black, and then the sweatshirts with the Ukrainian symbol on them with the patch marker? He has a place for a patch here. Why? Because he wants to be in solidarity with his nation. He doesn't. He said, "I will not wear another tie until we win the war." Biden to announce $375 million in military aid to Ukraine at G7 summit. Yes, and they're already looking ahead to next year as well. And agreed here, cell phones do not belong on the battlefield, but they're there. Everybody, as we know, as we all know, I've shown you lots of video from cell phones. So that was Zelensky arriving in Saudi Arabia. Now he spoke. Here is what Zhenya and I have talked about. This is so lacking. This is why the Russian propaganda machine dominates Ukraine and many other nations. We just do not realize what they're doing behind the scenes. But I think somehow Zelensky's figuring it out. He's being advised properly because now in these international meetings, he's speaking in English. He's not in Ukrainian working through a translator. He's speaking in English. I'm going to play you about 90 seconds of Zelensky speaking today in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Yes, the representatives of Iran were there. Just remember that. Listen to Zelensky. You're talking about strong leadership, maybe something that Reagan or a Churchill would have said. Check this out. Here's Zelensky. Let me run that back. So I'm seeing I can't hear it. Okay. Hmm. Somebody else in the chat, were you able to hear that? Because everything I'm seeing here, she was good. I'll run it back because it's important to hear. That's not a problem. And we're live and we can relax, hang out. Really low. Good. Okay. Yeah. I think it was okay, guys. I'm not sure why that happened. For some of you that couldn't hear, maybe tonight we'll have a little fun. Let me show you guys. You always wonder what I'm looking at to the left. Y'all see me look to the left? Let me show you. This is what I'm looking at. So this is how I run everything, whether it's on a pre-record or on a live stream. I'm watching all of this. So that's why I'm pretty confident it was playing. So we're going to run that back. And for those of you not hearing, I'm not sure. Most people are reporting they can hear it. So we'll give it another shot, but for sure we're good on my end. So here we go. Zelensky. And now your ears are kind of tuned in for his accent. Here we go again, Zelensky. How powerful of a statement. And I know some of you still not seeing it. Hey, Rick Barry, maybe you're right. Do not doubt podcasts such as this are intercepted and scrutinized by Russian intelligence. I know they've checked my stuff before. And that's okay. No problem. No problem. But kind of goofy there because for sure it's working. Reset live and you do because it's live. Okay. I think we're good, folks, because I was actually double checking it during it. So you can go back and check it on the replay. It'll be posted there. Crank it up or whatever, because I don't have any idea why that's happening. You guys could see my meters, and those things are pretty accurate there. So now it was stereo coming out. You can see the two lines. Regardless, go back, listen to it. Zelensky said this. There are those of you that are sitting here that are basically supporting the war against Ukraine. Think about what you're doing. This man, I mean, a Christian in the middle of Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, surrounded by a culture he probably knows very little about, bold as a lion to call it. So he did a good job. And as I said, that's what he was saying there in English for those of you that couldn't hear or something's goofy going on, but you can go over and hop back on and check it out. So there we have it. That's Zelensky and what he's up to. Now, I want to update you on Bakhmut, and this is going to be interesting tonight. We've got quite a bit going to share with you over the next few minutes on Bakhmut. This is the update from the Institute of Study of War, where they are showing that Ukraine for sure is capturing some territory on the north, and they are capturing it on the south. However, Russia is making pushes on the city itself. So that is what is coming out of the Institute for the Study of War. Now, I want to show you this. We'll go here, as we often do. This is, Ukraine uses this. This is pretty accurate. Come on in here. So, blue, reoccupied or liberated territories that Ukraine. This is Bakhmut, the city. I'm going back, what are we on, the 19th? Let's go back to the 12th. Let's start here. So you can see none of the liberation, except here on the south. On the 13th, Russia backs up there. Gray zone extends. Bakhmut here. The 14th, this is when we started to understand that Ukraine was gaining some territory. Here, 3.42 kilometer square. Here, 1.86, 1.2, 0.83 square kilometers. So, we're zoomed in here. It's not tremendously massive, but it's positive. So we come ahead to the 14th. They expand more. 15th, 16th, 17th. I want you to watch here. Here we are. I'm hoping you guys can see this. So, central Bakhmut is on the river. Yes, Russia has it. And the city actually wraps. Hope you guys are seeing my mouse here. Wraps all the way back in here deep like this, then comes around. The only part of the city that's left is in this gray zone here. Okay? That's it. And then, folks, once this is taken here, there's nothing here. There's nothing to fight for. Yes, there's trenches out here. Yes, there's some forest fields that are destroyed, but there's nothing. It is barren. So that's the 16th. Move to the 17th. You see, while we've been talking about, yes, Ukraine gaining this blue, which they are, up to 22 square kilometers now. Now, you can see, while all that attention is there, look at here. Russia, Wagner pushing out 17th, 18th, 19th. So, sorry, they're the 19 loaded in. Let's go back. 16th. This is all that's left in Bakhmut. That's it. 17, 18, today, it's updated. 19. Massive. Massive push today. I can tell you that Bakhmut city proper, gone. So, of course, you're not going to hear that, but Zhenya and I were talking about it. He was talking to Azov commander today. This is a fact. This is 100% a fact. But while Bakhmut is being taken, Ukraine pushing on this southern flank, now 11.45 kilometers squared, and the northern flank, 2.32. The issue is there's nothing here. There's nothing in Bakhmut now. There's nothing here. So we're going to see. Remember, we don't really try to project, but that is a fact of what's happening. Now, you see that. Now I go to Wagner map. This is the Wagner map. This is upper right. It says the situation in Bakhmut. It has the date of May the 18th, 2023. This is those guys. They are confirming the blue where Ukraine has taken back territory. They're also confirming, if you look right to the left, that's the jut out that happened. So just try to memorize that map in your mind. You see it. Now go here. It's the same. it's the same. So, very interesting. This is their operational report map, and I'm going to be getting more and more of these, and I'll be sharing them like crazy. But you can see it's spot on. Now, right before I went live tonight, the gentleman who does a lot of our translation work, and for those of you that are in our Patreon and you're supporting us through there, in fact, many people wonder what Patreon is. Here it is. This is a private platform, costs $5 a month, but here I'm posting stuff that I can't really share on YouTube's. Lots of translation, operational reports, everything. So this is what we always refer to. This is the Patreon. But Vladimir Zelensky does a lot of the translating for me in there. And this is what we're helping. He messaged me tonight right before he went to sleep about an hour ago. And he says, Greg, share these tonight. This is Bakhmut right now. Right now. I said, okay, I'll share it. So reminder, as we're showing here, Ukraine, yes, on the northern and southern flank. But the city proper confirmed it's 100%. There may be one little road right here, but it's under the cup of coffee a month, Skaghead. It's under Russian and Wagner control. Now, Vladimir Zelensky sent me these videos. He says, Greg, please show these tonight. This is Bakhmut just a few hours ago. So here's one. These are the incendiary munitions tonight raining down on Bakhmut. This one also came out of Bakhmut. And folks, Zolik sent me this one. I'll come back here. Zolik sent me this one, and the entire city's burning. Here it is. So Vladimir Zelensky, our translator, not the president, said, Greg, please share those. That's tonight. Show people what's happening. So Zolik, that was for you, bud. It's burning. Now, I want to give another story about Bakhmut tonight, and I want to talk about Belarusia. Not Belarusia specifically, but about 5 Belarusians. There is a division or a group, better to call it that, because if I start using those words, I'm not trying to be technical with divisions and brigades and all of that. There is a group of combat soldiers that work on the line, behind the lines, Ukrainian. They are a part of the 30th. And 5 Belarusian soldiers volunteered to join that elite force group. Today in Bakhmut this morning, all 5 of those guys were killed. Tribute video was put out immediately showing these 5 guys and some of their work. I'm going to share this with you. There's some music behind it. This was put out by the group that they were supporting. So I remind you, the Ukrainians, all of them can speak Russian. Of course, Belarusia, they're speaking Belarusian, but basically Russian. So all of these guys can come in and work together, no problem, no language barriers. But these 5 soldiers from Belarus, they're actually pretty famous inside Ukraine for being kind of like Rambos. And they were there, and they lost their life. They lost their life in Bakhmut today. So this was put out 2 minutes, and you'll see at the bottom left there's a code there that says Bell Warriors, the Belarusian Warriors. Here it is. A tribute to these guys. They lost their life in Bakhmut fighting for Ukraine. That is not snow, folks. That's ash. That is not snow. That's ash. That's them boys right there. These 5 guys.
Выстрел!
That's the 5 guys. They were always together. So that's a tribute to those guys. They've been there pretty much the entire war. They fought together with Ukraine. These 5 guys always stuck together. They died together. So tonight we give some tribute to them. So that's, another reason when we talk about nations, for example, and we start ripping on Belarus for what they allow Russia to do through their nation, which is happening even tonight. Many of the Shaheeds were launched from Belarusian territory that came down on Kyiv tonight. It's not a blanket statement. There are wonderful Belarusians. There are wonderful Russians, just like there are wonderful Iranians. It's a fact. Those 5 Belarusians were heroes. They lost their lives in Bakhmut. So we pay tribute to them. Now, Danilov, this is the guy on the left. He issued a warning to the city of Lugansk. Here I have not the front lines drawn, but these are the 2 obelisks. Upper right in the red circled is Lugansk. Below that, without the red outline, is the region of Donetsk. The blue star, just for your reference, is where Bakhmut is. So, Danilov put out a warning. Ukraine is starting to hit deeper behind the enemy lines. It is confirmed the missiles that are coming from Great Britain, the missiles that are coming now from France. What are they? The Scalps. They're being used. I can tell you, Danilov came out and placed a warning, and it was a kind warning. He said today, for those of you that are behind the lines in major cities, you are there, occupied, still supporting Ukraine, and you're Ukrainian. Do not be near military positions. Do not be near bases. Do not be near supply places. If you see military activity, stay away from it. We're coming. So that warning came out today for Lugansk, for Donetsk, and I can tell you just a few hours ago, Mariupol was hit at a supply center near the Mariupol airport. Ukraine is striking out with more range now. Of course, I'm going to tell you the truth, folks. Russia is ripping them every night. Every night. We are on the 19th of May, and Kyiv has been rained down on with Shaheeds and missiles 11 out of the 19 nights. The war long range is cranking up for both sides. So that's the warning coming out from Danilov, once again corresponding to the danger. Kyiv put out a warning and said, it seems that due to the upcoming, whenever it's going to happen, counteroffensive, Russia right now, their strategy is to hit our resource centers. That's what was hit in Khmelnytsky. It was a military target. I mean, we tell you the truth here. It was a military target, and they got it. But Ukraine comes out and says, we're seeing increased activity of the air, the drones, and the missiles. So we need to be aware. Just last night, the report, there were 19 Shaheeds launched and 6 Caliber class missiles. Air defense took out 16, and air defense took out 3 of the Caliber class missiles. So 3 missiles hit their target, 3 Shaheeds hit their target, and then you have the deflection damage that comes down. The Caliber missiles actually struck Kryvyi Rog and hit residential and military. So that's what's happening. We get these reports every day. There you go. Scalp. Storm Shadow. Scalp EG. That's what Ukraine is using, and they're coming. Tim Ryder, that's a great comment there. Back in reference to those Belarusian heroes. Greater love hath no man. Yeah, warrior's death. They are heroes. Decide, support Ukraine now or end up with something much more dangerous for you personally. As Mandu would say, this is the way. Yeah, it's coming. We're not an alarmist. We're not conspiracy theorists, but this is obvious. It's completely obvious. The whole world right now is on the brink of a disaster, and it seems like a lot of the story is centered on Ukraine. That's why we must do our part. So that's the story on the missiles there. Now, Russia every month is, and I know there were multiple reports, but these numbers are right. Every month, Russia is producing 50 new Caliber class missiles, 4 Kinjal hypersonics, 70 KH-101s, and 10 Iskanders. They also have a, we can't say limitless, but unknown, extremely high supply of S-300 missiles. It's not going to stop. This is what Ukraine was reporting today. Every month they're cycling. And to be quite honest, you know, I've been on the front there for 5 months. What we've seen over the last 7 to 10 days with the air raids every night. And I mean, not just warnings. They send the drones. They're sending the cruise missiles, and they are getting some hits. Has definitely cranked up. But they are in production, and they'll keep rolling. You know, that tells us a couple of things. A, they're not going to stop. B, they have the equipment to produce these missiles. They have the technical equipment, whatever is inside those things with the computers and all of that jazz that they're supposed to be sanctioned out of, as we've called that from day one. It's a joke. I know it has its effects economically, but it's a joke, folks. Because the EU, the United States, and Australia can sanction Russia until the cows come home. But as long as Russia can operate third party through nations like Iran and China and India and African nations, where today Lavrov was in Uganda creating a bilateral agreement. You say, well, that's Uganda. Yeah, but it's computer parts. The stuff is happening right under the world's nose, and we look at it from the West and go, well, we've sanctioned them. It's, it's over. It's just a matter of time. Yeah, because you have a Western mentality. We think the entire, if you're an American, you think I'm an American, we think the entire world revolves around us. It doesn't. If you're European, you think the entire world revolves around London and Paris and Rome. If you're Australian, you think the entire world revolves around Sydney and Melbourne. If you're Japanese, it's all Tokyo. Baloney, folks. The world is all interwoven, and it's very naive to think that Russia can't get what they need. Arman, oh man, I do not want to mess your name up, but I sure do want to try it. Kozakeldyov. I'm going to go with Arman Kozakeldyov. I think that Yev will be a Yov. I think Arman Kozakeldyov. The computer parts are being shipped to Russia from neighboring countries. 100%. 100%. It's just a fact. So we have to think, and believe me, I know we love our nations and we love, which we should. I love my country. You love your country and we care, but try not to be naive and think the world just runs on our little circle, because it's completely interwoven. Now, let's go here. Mayor of Energodar, the Ukrainian mayor, of course, he's not there. Just like the mayor of Melitopol is not there. They're gone. Not because they didn't stand for their nation, but it was safety when they were taken out. Remember, the mayor of Melitopol was kidnapped and taken behind enemy lines and was exchanged for 9 prisoners way back early in the war. These guys are out, but they still communicate with the people in their town. He put out a statement today and says there are, in fact, before I read this, remember when I told you guys, don't read the media? I would love to index headlines. I should have, but I can't. There's limitations. It's just limitations. This is 450 days of this, but what, 6 weeks ago? Do you remember the headlines? Russians running away from Energodar. Russians fleeing Energodar. And everybody's assuming, oh, they're leaving. And I updated you that it was 1,600, and they were family members of the employees of the nuclear power station there that live in Energodar. They were moved out due to the coming escalation in the war. The people were running with it like crazy. I told you Russia was going to run away. They're not running away. The mayor of Energodar today comes out with this. There are a lot of Russian military personnel on the territory of the industrial site, referring to Zaporizhia nuclear power plant. They actually live there. They have created fortifications, mined everything around, created an ammunition depot and a location for military equipment there on the grounds of the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant. This is what we've talked about the whole time. They're not going away. You are correct, sir. Subway, KFC, still doing business in Russia. That's a fact. That's not hearsay. That's a fact. Let's do this. Let's do this. When you read that statement right there and you say, okay, they've put some military personnel there, how can I do that? We're just having a little fun tonight on a Friday night. Let me do it this way. Can I measure area? Let me see if I can do this. I'll bring you in so you can see what I'm doing here. I want to zoom into Zaporizhia nuclear power plant. Of course, here's Ukraine. We're going to come right down to nuclear power plant. You know, you can see it from space. look at this massive complex here. This is the largest nuclear power plant in all of Europe. The complex is huge. Now, how can I think I can measure right there. Perimeter and area. Here we go. So, if you take the cooling site, and I know some of this is water, and let's just do this. Here. Will it let me do this? Yep. Here. And then it comes to this border right here, because this is where the gate is. Come up. 6.3 square miles, 11.28 for a perimeter line. That's just the nuclear power plant grounds. Of course, a lot of that is the cooling reservoir there, but this is not a small place. And this is the update. They're not only not running away, they're loaded up in there. So it's what we expected. Now, last few things I want to give you tonight, and this has been good. Russia using families of Zaporizhia as hostages. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. 3 mile by 3 mile by 5 mile by 5 mile. Close, man. Said, you must be a surveyor in your real life. All right, here we go. Let's do this one. Russia, according to the media. Tonight, I've got some pretty cool things I'm going to share with you. Well, they're not cool, but it's just reality. I'm going to share with you some reality tonight from Russia, according to the media. So, let's start with this. Let's start with today, Shoigu going down to Zaporizhia. I'll show you where he was at. Where was he at? Right here. He was in Melitopol. So, what you're going to see here is Melitopol. You're also going to see him flying over a waterway. It's right here. It is not. They come out and say it's up here, but it's not. He was running this waterway here. He came into Melitopol. This is Shoigu, given some awards, and this is what was shown today on Russian state TV, showing military, showing Shoigu, and I've got some voiceover at the end when he's giving an award away. Here he is. Some underground bunker. No audio here, don't worry.
Talking, so it's quiet.
They're talking strategy, so audio's off. They're just showing the video.
Region battle plans. Shoigu, of course, is there analyzing the maps. He has the green pointer. They're in their bunkers, and now comes the awards time. These are very high and valuable rewards. Congratulations. These are high and valuable, and I thank you for all the work that you guys have done, and I hope that in the future you will continue to serve our country with faith and valor the way you have, and that together our country will be safe.
So there's the Russian media first. So this was shown on Russian state TV today. Shoigu down there. A couple of things that I think are interesting. And ANSI drop. You got it, boss. Send that. Let's send. Why the camo nets underground seems fishy. Not a real Rolex. So you're right. But there is something I want you to pay attention to. You guys ever watched, and you have, because I've shown the videos when Zelensky visits a frontline area or a hospital or something, he gives an award away. And the camera position is always on the face of the soldier. Like it'll be over Zelensky's shoulder and you're seeing the face of the soldier who's receiving the award. But you notice there, the camera was always on the face of Shoigu. That's how it operates. That's what they do. Let's see here. The Sage, you made a very good comment going back to Zaporizhia. Basically, the nuclear power plant's a huge city that can't be shelled or risk nuclear detonation. Only way to take that back is to surround it while they blast you. Hope they run out of supplies. That's spot on. It's such a key area. Such a key area. Now, let's go back to some more of Russian media today. Putin speaking. He had a conference. So, of course, you've got the Arab yeah, thank you. The Sade's helping us. The Arab summit going on in Jeddah, the G7 happening. So what does Putin do? He has his own little conference. It was a big conference call where everybody's on the monitors and he's giving a speech and giving an update. Well, I've got a couple clips from that tonight off Smatry Media. Here is President Putin talking about the very sanctions that we were just discussing 10 minutes ago. Here he is.
The more sanctions that are imposed on us, the more slander that comes against us, the higher general consolidation that we are evil and bad. This has happened over the last 5 years. It's had the opposite effect, and in fact, it's increased by 33%, according to statistics of 2023. Over 94% of the people support us inside of our nation. In fact, that level of civic identity has increased from 63% in 2017 to 94.2% in the beginning of 2023, end of 2022.
So there you have Vladimir Putin referring to the sanctions and said they've had the opposite effect. They've caused our people to come together, and now we have a 94.2% unity and a consolidated view. It's compared even to the lower numbers from 2017. Of course, everything is perfect there. That's what wants to be shared. Now, he goes on and he starts dropping that the world is full of morons. You know, this reminds me more and more of, I love to watch World War II documentaries. I love watching the speeches, hearing them translated. This is similar to something that Hitler would say. Here you go.
People who are driven by their neo-colonial ideas, they're morons. And in a contest of morons, they would come in second place. And why only second place? Because they're morons. They do not understand that when there are conditions of external aggression and external pressure, we only strengthen ourselves to become a nation of multi-ethnicity. It's not by an accident at all. I want to emphasize this. Almost all the people of Russia have joined the ranks of the participants in the special military operation. They're volunteers, and they want to help on the front and at home.
They're delusional. He's absolutely delusional. Yeah, the rest of the neo world, yeah, they're all morons. They don't understand. We have the greatest volunteers, and everybody's working for the front. Everybody's working for our mission. I wonder who decides those numbers to use at those conferences. That's easy. Vladimir Putin. And if he doesn't like the report that comes, it'll be adjusted. KGB Director Comrade Putin is postmaster of propaganda dissemination. It's the truth. And that's why, you know, I wanted to show you guys this right here. Russia according to the media. Now, I've got one more I'm going to give you tonight. Okay. I'm going to set this one up for you. This was on Russian news today. You're not even going to believe this. I may even have to play it twice. This is the beauty of, being fully live like this. So I'm going to play a news anchor, and I want you to think about your own nation, wherever you're at, and the news that you watch, if you watch. And many times you'll see the anchor standing there and they're giving a report, and you'll have the camera behind them, just like this. And I'll stop it. So this is the image. Of course, it's a propaganda show, news report. And the guy standing there going to give his update, and you're going to see an image over here. Let me see if I can scrub it. Okay, folks, look at this. This is a picture of a bird that has a yellow body and blue hair. You can't make this stuff up on a Friday night. I wanted to show you that before we roll into it, so you'll understand. A kid went to school, a little girl, with her hair braided. It was braided in the colors of yellow and blue, of course, the Ukrainian colors. There was a full investigation into everything, whether this was a criminal act or not. Folks, can you say Nazi Germany? I know it's hard to believe, but this is truly what happened. Now, here it is, and I may play it twice. I'm translating over top of him. Here you go.
The State Duma has called for clarity on who should be listed as traitors or enemies of our people, etc. The matter is raised up by Vyacheslav Dvankov. He's calling the Interior Ministry to give an official comment to clarify what this combination of yellow and blue colors in the hair is, whether it is an offense, a crime in terms of the law or not. What was the occasion? The reason for this appeal was a case in Kyiv, where the headmistress of the school complained to the police about the mother of a pupil, a student. These pictures show the girl coming to class with yellow and blue braids in her hair. Investigators subsequently went to the hairstylist, the child's family, the school, checked everything out, and as a result of the inspection, it was reported that it is not a crime.
Someone get that bird quick. They're in a war, and they worried about the color of this girl's hair. The schoolmaster calls the government. Hello? They go to the hairstylist. They go to the school, the headmaster, the parents, everybody to investigate this. And they determined, yeah, dyeing your hair is a crime. Come on. It's Friday night, and we're going to get out of here now. It's been a good stream. I'm going to play that one more time. It's unbelievable. Here we go.
The State Duma has called for clarity on who should be listed as traitors or enemies of our people, etc. The matter is raised up by Vyacheslav Dvankov. He's calling the Interior Ministry to give an official comment to clarify what this combination of yellow and blue colors in the hair is, whether it is an offense, a crime in terms of the law or not. What was the occasion? The reason for this appeal was a case in Kyiv, where the headmistress of the school complained to the police about the mother of a pupil, a student. These pictures show the girl coming to class with yellow and blue braids in her hair. Investigators subsequently went to the hairstylist, the child's family, the school, checked everything out, and as a result of the inspection, it was reported that it is not a crime.
So there you have it for your Friday night. I see you guys. Let's see here. Okay. So, no mention of F-16s out of the G7. And if you guys have any other comments or questions, you can drop them in there. Okay. No. And Ricochet, you're on top of this stuff. They're not coming anytime soon. They're not coming anytime soon. I don't care that Biden said today we'll train pilots. They're not coming anytime soon. Yes, there is an Amazon shopping list. Smedley, G7, but I saw 9 people on the stage for the photo. Yes, there is the 7 nations, and they also had invited the president of the European Union and the president of the European Parliamentary Council. So that makes 9. That's why there were 9. Nothing mysterious there. They were given a seat. So that's where we're at, guys. That's where we're at. I hope this was good for you. It's been a really good stream. So we've got the Australian in here. He's ready. He's ready to give those F-18s away. We'll see. We'll see what happens, but it's going to be a while. Right now, anything we can get there will help. MiGs will help. To be quite honest, even with the F-16s, of course, they would be revolutionary because I know they're older planes, but they've been updated throughout the years. But Russia's air defense pretty stout, just like Ukraine's is getting stouter. So we'll see. We'll be here. Thank you guys for the likes, the shares, the comments. Hit the Patreon. Do all of that. Anything unfolds over the next couple of days, we'll be here. And I can tell you right now, we're all green. No air raid warnings in Ukraine right now. So you guys be blessed. We appreciate you all, and we'll see you very soon. Have a good night.